If you find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. We might
I was trying to think.
Well,
I totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait. Just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. We found it today. Jada, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
All right, Chase, what do you got?
I want to know what y'all think, but if Stanley Kubrick was still alive, this looks like a scene from some dystopian candy shop where the employees are in there with this colors and the white turtleneck and the white couch. It looks like Stanley Kubrick to me. I'll let y'all figure that out or answer that. One thing you're seeing a lot of is this, and this is commonly referred to as a stop gesture, where the fingers are all the way extended. And in your history, if you've ever tried to talk someone out of doing something or try to get someone to stop doing something, your fingers extend. Even if your hand is in your pocket, down at your side, in your purse, doesn't matter. We naturally kind of do this to stop somebody from doing something. When she says relationship between us, there's a strong chin boss movement right there. And she says he can't be perfect. And there's no mention of her being imperfect. She doesn't mention her imperfection at all, just her being a human being. And right at the moment that she says, Hoda says you can live in the same house, there is pure disgust. And if you just think of the facial expression of disgust, everything kind of squeezes in toward the middle a little bit. You imagine like smelling a rotten jug of milk. And then her eyes close all the way when she says, yeah, about living in the same house. That had some huge red flags for me. Y'all probably picked up on even more. Scott, what'd you see?
All right. Yeah. Well, I won't repeat that part of it. But yeah, I think we saw a lot in here. And the thing is, this originally was the last video we were going to show. Then Greg called and said, hey, listen, we should put that one at the beginning and do the first video because she contradicts a few things in that thing. In this first video, we can go through and watch that. So here we're seeing this pretty much the same gestures, the same illustrators. We're seeing the same body language we're seeing in the following videos in a different interview that we're seeing here, except for they're not as animated. There are some spots in the other ones where she's more animated, but in this one, I agree with you, Chase. It seems so fake. I mean, it is because it's TV. Nobody has a couch like that at home. No, you wouldn't talk that way at home. I don't anyway. I know you guys don't talk that way. So the whole thing seems a little bit odd, but she falls back into, and watch from now on in the other videos, as she falls into this thing where she starts, like you were saying, using her hand, but she starts this teaching mode thing where she starts telling you about what's happening and what she's learned and all these wonderful things that have happened and how she's in control of it. Everything looks as it should if you're in that world, if you're in the TV world and you're on TV and you're an actress and or an actor, I don't know what they call them these days, and you're an actor and you're trying to be this person you've shown everyone you are and trying to stay in that character. I think everything looks the way it should, especially since she's following that protocol she always follows of trying to be in charge of what's happening and telling you what's happening and teaching you something as you go along. Greg, what do you got?
Yeah. She almost Gollumed up the wrong answer there. I love that. When she asked her, can you live together? Yeah. That's the oddest answer of all of the things she does. But let's leave it at that and go backward and look at everything else. Mark, you and I talked last week about glass painting is what I call it. And we were saying maybe we come up with a collective name for it. But she glass paints. And by that, I mean, she is there to deliver a package of goods that is packaged for consumption by that person. That takes a hell of a lot of practice to be good at, which is a bad sign that somebody's being that casual and that selective with the way they deliver information. Chase, you have a security clearance, or you did when you're active military. It's like the first time you walk up and you're talking to somebody about something you know, and you can't talk about the topic in detail because you know something that they might learn. And they're fishing and poking. They don't know that you know this thing, but you do. And so you're so careful with it. You do your best to avoid it at every turn, and you hold them off at a distance. That's what she's doing here with the way she uses her words. I love the body language in this one because there's a whole lot of mechanical stuff going on here. When Hoda asked the question, this first question, look at her lower teeth get exposed. That's anger. Arrows in her eyes are narrowed. And then it's followed by some asymmetry in the left side of her face or contempt as she starts to describe what this is. This is not what that is. Her tone says everything to me. Listen to that shift in tone. It's not an angry tone. It's a patronizing tone. It's very strong, in my opinion. And then you look at those elongated key points as she elongates the vowels in the words she's trying to drive. And I was wondering, Chase, I was thinking is because she does some false cognates in other places. I've never seen anybody capable of controlling their chin, so I don't think it is. But it's in an odd kind of abandoned place. And that left eye, that data intake eye in her, as narrow as it can be in this situation. We're going to see a very different situation when she's sitting with somebody talking about something she wants. And when she says yes, her head bobbles. I got a 1958 Impala. I think a Jada doll would look really good on top of the dash. Just doing that look like something from the 1950s. None of it looks real. None of it looks believable. And it looks like she came, to your point, packaged as some person to fit into the situation and to give the details. Very different from what we saw last week and all this bubbly over the top about this relationship and avoiding outright the question about whether they're going to move in together or not. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so I would call this Jada-splaining going on to Hoda. It is very forceful. It is quite condescending, I think. Also, it kind of switches codes. You've got this first splaining part where she's very, very forceful and direct. And then she tries to, I think, ameliorate that a little bit with something more kind of colloquial to the two of them, something more banterish. The pitch starts, going right up there. And I think she's trying to, level out how explaining she's doing. But as an explainer, she's, to my understanding, she's come on to redress something that wasn't fully understood the first time around. I'm no clearer as to what on earth is going on here. It's not a good explainer. The cynic inside of me would suggest it's like one of those emails you get from a company that's marketing when it says in the title, we messed up. We got something wrong. But all they're trying to do is get another eye shot at you to send you through their link. It feels the same to me that the cynic inside me would go, you're correcting a mistake that you don't think was a mistake because you're getting another shot at pitching your book. Listen, no problem. I don't mind people who send me those emails to go, we messed up. I kind of know what you're doing. And so I kind of feel like I know what's happening here, which is a little bit disappointing. I've no doubt they're not going to live in the same house. There's that inflection there. There's the disgust that we see there. There's even a bit of a peach snort beforehand as well to see Hoda out of that territory. She spins. It's very political what's happening there. She tries to reframe a lot of the ideas that are going on. And we see the start of something we're going to see throughout the next lot of videos, which is I think she finds it very hard to explain her feelings in very literal form of who will do what and where and what things actually tangibly are and look and feel like. And she goes for concepts that we're not allowed to touch and we're not allowed to question those concepts. She does it here, and we'll see that going on. Interesting start of that. And Chase, with you're right, with all that white against white, it really is the savior look. Will Smith did the same in one of his videos by literally having a white light behind him in a halo. It was interestingly done. So the savior has shown up, and I think that's something of her idea that she is a spiritual master of some sort, and I think that's the icon she's now looking to push, which is tricky because she maybe doesn't have some of the self-knowledge that you would probably think somebody should have in order to fit that category.
One of those tape replays.
If you find another great love, or if Will finds another great love.
There's no finding another great love, and I think that's the point. It's like, we are in a place now that we are in a deep healing space, and we are really concentrating on healing the relationship between us.
So it may not be the divorce on paper anymore?
There's no divorce on paper.
I mean, not on paper. There might not be a divorce in theory anymore?
Yeah, no, we really have been working hard.
Oh.
See?
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. We might
I was trying to think.
Well, wait.
I totally missed that on the whole. That's the whole thing.
So wait, just so I'm 100% clear, you were divorced, not on paper, but now we might be a point where we're back together.
We are working very hard at bringing our relationship together.
Back to a marriage again.
Back to a life partnership. Yes, because here's the thing about husband-wife marriage for me, for my healing process. I came into that with very specific ideas, right? Very specific ideas that were blocks to me just seeing Will as who he is. He can't be this perfect, idealized husband.
Yes, of course.
I have to be able to accept him for the human that he is. He accepts me for the human that I am, and we want to love each other there.
Okay, so you might like live in the same house and have the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's the only part. That's the only part in the special that I felt like got lost.
Well, guess what? It is found. We found it today. We found it today. Jada, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.